once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down. Diddy really...
He's 3 law firms on retainer. I don't know how much money is coming in, but I know that a lot of money is going out every single month for Diddy.
50 Cent has just dropped a bombshell that could shake the foundation of hip-hop history. He says Jay-Z ended Shakur, and Diddy was right there to help him pull it off. That's not just a rumor. That's a nuclear-level accusation coming from the one guy in rap who has always seemed allergic to silence. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. For years, he's been circling these sharks, Jay-Z and Diddy, mocking their secrets, hinting at their crimes, slinging shade like it's an Olympic sport. But this isn't just another online jab or a clever meme. This is 50 Cent taking aim at the very origins of East Coast power in hip-hop, pointing his finger straight at the old kings and saying, "You built your empire on blood."
I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie.
We all know 50 Cent has been gunning for Jay-Z and Diddy forever. Forget sparkling beverage wars or petty Instagram spats. His loathing for these two has turned into a full-blown vendetta, the kind of bad blood that makes the Hatfields and McCoys look like a friendly neighborhood dispute over borrowed hedge trimmers. Every time Diddy's name pops up in a federal investigation, 50 is there first, gloating, fanning the flames, threatening to drop even more receipt. Every time Jay-Z gets tangled in a scandal, 50 is on social media, dropping sarcastic one-liners, roasting his red carpet family outings, or just straight up implying the man is hiding something darker than any lyric he's ever written. Jay said, they said, "I r***ed a kid, everybody get dressed, we going to see Mufasa," he posted after the latest lawsuit hit. The post didn't last long online, but you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. Let's be clear. In 50 Cent's world, there are no innocent moguls. And lately, he stopped just needling Jay-Z and Diddy for entertainment. He started casting them as the villains of an entire generation. His latest theory? That these men were willing to cross any line for money, power, and self-preservation, and that Shakur paid the ultimate price. If you believe 50's dark fairy tale, it all goes back to the so-called Vegas Pact, a late-night conspiracy that allegedly went down in dimly lit suites above the Vegas Strip. Here's the setup. The industry is on the verge of explosion. Shakur is threatening to go public with secrets, not just street drama, but the kind of confessions that could topple labels and land people in courtrooms. Jay-Z, still hungry, still building his dynasty, can't afford a meltdown. Diddy, always 2 steps ahead, needs to make sure his own closet stays locked tight. So the story goes, the two men meet in secret, surrounded by nervous handlers and whispered threats, deciding that Shakur is simply too dangerous to keep alive.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
No, we haven't seen security cam footage of Jay-Z and Diddy exchanging glances over a suitcase full of dollars. But ask enough industry insiders and they'll tell you, the myth of that Vegas meeting refuses to fade for a reason. Shakur's demise was never just another random act of street violence. Too many loose threads, too many people who knew things suddenly lost their voices. Suge Knight himself, no stranger to conspiracy, told TMZ years later, "Why you think nobody been arrested if they said they the one that did it? Because Shakur not gone. If he was, they'd be arresting those dudes for doing it." That's the problem with secrets in hip-hop. They don't stay buried, they just change hands. But what makes 50 Cent's vendetta so relentless, so surgical, is how he refuses to let Jay-Z or Diddy shake these ghosts. He doesn't just troll for clicks, he turns their every scandal into another piece of evidence. When Jay-Z showed up at his daughter's Mufasa premiere looking stone-faced beside Beyonce, 50 was right there, circling like a vulture. When the assault allegations hit, he went nuclear, mocking Jay-Z for bringing the whole family to the Lion King, instead of facing the music. Whenever Diddy gets hauled in front of a judge, or another ex comes forward with stories about his infamous parties, 50 is on Instagram with AI-generated arrest videos, soundtracked by Sound of the Police. He's made it into a running series, Did He Do It? Half documentary, half public execution, all timed for maximum humiliation. And, if you ask his followers, he's just getting started.
For him, although interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet, there's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic,
It's easy to say this is all just a grudge match, a decade-long feud between egos too big to fit in the same room. But with every meme, every AI deepfake, every deleted post, 50 Cent pushes his narrative deeper. He wants the world to see Jay-Z and Diddy not as misunderstood icons, but as architects of corruption. Men who would do anything, destroy anyone to protect their positions at the top. For years, Diddy's been living under a cloud of lawsuits and accusations, racketeering, human trafficking, freak-off parties orchestrated with military precision. Homeland Security raided his mansions, 1,000 bottles of baby oil made it onto the news ticker, and there's 50 gleeful, cracking, here I am keeping good company with Drew Barrymore. And I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house. You can almost see him rubbing his hands, already scripting the next episode. Jay-Z hasn't had it easier. The latest lawsuit didn't just drag his name into the dirt. It shoved his entire family into the headlights. He claims he's being blackmailed, that he's the victim of an elaborate shakedown by lawyer Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. Jay-Z wrote. That's the official story. But behind the PR statements and the legal filings, the gossip mill keeps churning. Beyonce is reportedly pushing for the family to face it head on. Blue Ivy, caught in the middle, is old enough now to read the headlines. If Jay-Z ever thought he could just buy silence or settle out of court, he's finding out the hard way. Scandal in the streaming era doesn't go away. It multiplies.
Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down.
And through it all, 50 Cent keeps pouring gasoline on the fire. His trolling has gotten so specific, so pointed, that fans are starting to wonder, does he actually have the receipts? Or is this just classic misdirection, a master of chaos playing everyone for fools? He claims he's producing a docuseries on Diddy's crimes. He shares screenshots of court filings and claims he'll pay top dollar for incriminating tapes. Even the AI arrest video, part joke, part threat, lands with the force of a confession. I want to post this, but I'm afraid I'm gonna get shot. That's 50 in a nutshell, always laughing but never really joking. The feud isn't new, it's just reached a fever pitch. 50 Cent has been throwing darts at Diddy since the early 2000s, accusing him of knowing more about the Notorious B.I.G. case than he ever admitted. He roasted Diddy's parties for being uncomfortable and not my kind of party. He's questioned why so many people close to these moguls end up silent or conveniently erased. When Diddy's ex Cassie filed a lawsuit, 50 was already eyeing a buyout of Revolt. When Homeland Security raided Diddy's homes and seized enough lubricant to sponsor the Olympics, 50 couldn't resist. I'll give you a few dollars for it now. Sell it to me, then we can be friends. I'm serious, call my phone. Only in 50 Cent's universe could a business deal double as an execution joke.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
The stakes are no longer just reputations or record sales. Now, with the long shadow of Shakur's unsolved shooting looming over everything, the whispers are getting louder. Was Shakur's end really a simple matter of West Coast versus East Coast? Or was it a surgical operation to clear the path for two rising moguls, desperate to protect their own secrets? Theories swirl about Vegas, about cash drops, about whispered threats in back rooms. The same back rooms where years later Jay-Z and Diddy would celebrate their first billion. It's almost too convenient. Every time new evidence comes out, the arrest of Dwayne "Keppy D. Davis, fresh court transcripts, another twist in the endless Biggie Shakur cold case, 50 Cent is right there to remind us, it's been the worst kept secret in Compton. The official story might be tied up with a bow, but in the court of public opinion, this is still a live wire. And that's the real danger for Jay-Z and Diddy. The legal machine moves slow, the gossip machine moves at the speed of scandal. 50 Cent knows how to keep both humming, and he's not afraid to use the nuclear option, blurring fact and fiction until no one remembers where the truth ends and the trolling begins. Every deleted post is another clue. Every meme is a warning shot, and every carefully timed accusation keeps the narrative alive. Maybe these men really did cross the line. Maybe the price of power was paid in secrets, silence, and something much worse. But what if 50 Cent isn't just trolling? What if he knows something the rest of us don't? And what role does Beyonce play in all of this?
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past, okay?
So as rumors churn around Jay-Z and Diddy's exposed secrets, the spotlight quietly shifts to the one force in this story that even these titans can't seem to outmaneuver: Beyonce herself. Industry insiders have whispered for months that the tension inside the Carter household could be cutting glass. We're talking about a power couple that has weathered infidelity rumors, public betrayals, and business wars. But this latest storm might be the one thing capable of shaking their billion-dollar kingdom. According to those close to the scene, Beyonce has allegedly drawn a line in the sand. The whispers say she delivered Jay-Z a private ultimatum: Diddy goes, or our legacy does. no one can blame her. With Diddy's never-ending list of legal nightmares, from trafficking accusations to wild freak-off party scandals, the risk to her family's carefully curated empire has never been greater.
How do you know I'm not a gangster? Or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the industry is filled with gangsters.
When Jay-Z appeared in court filings, all but begging the judge to distance his name from Diddy's, was it the voice of his lawyers speaking or the hand of his wife, quietly steering him away from the flame? Some say Beyonce's team is treating the fallout like a full-blown crisis. Forget the old tabloid stories of lemonade and forgiveness. This is chess at the highest level. Her sources, talking to outlets like the Daily Mail, claim Beyonce wanted the family to confront the accusations head-on. Their daughter Blue Ivy, old enough now to know exactly what those headlines mean, was right there on the red carpet, standing in silent defiance. Behind the smiles and designer gowns, the subtext is unmistakable. Beyonce's not just standing by her man, she's controlling the board. It's no secret that Diddy's legal situation has morphed from background noise into a full-scale tornado. If there was a time when Jay-Z and Diddy were bonded by a mutual code of silence, that era is over. Jay-Z's lawyers now argue for sanctions against the lawyers filing the lawsuit, decrying the case as a blackmail attempt, while Beyonce's team reportedly pushes to protect the Carter family brand at any cost. Diddy are working with a crisis specialist who is advising them on how to handle this, one insider shared, spelling out just how far the family will go to protect their own. For Jay-Z, every legal move is now under a microscope, and the distance between him and Diddy in public has never looked greater.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Meanwhile, as the Carters try to firewall their legacy, the shadow of Shakur's final night only seems to grow. The more we pull at the threads, the more the official story starts to unravel. Shakur's shooting in Las Vegas was always branded as a random, vengeful act of coastal rivalry. But let's pause and actually run the tape. It's 1996. Shakur is on top of the world, but he's got enemies in every corner, not just in the streets, but inside the business. The night of his attack, just hours after a brawl in the MGM Grand, he's gunned down at a red light. Suge Knight, who many expected to be a second target, escapes with minor injuries. The shooter vanishes into the night, leaving behind a legacy of silence and suspicion.
Let's talk about it, man. So you feel like it was bigger than Orlando shooter Pac. You feel like it's more to the story. You don't think it was that simple?
I feel like it's bigger.
The list of coincidences in the aftermath is staggering. Records vanish, witnesses clam up, and those who threaten to bring new evidence, like Michael Nice, the former bodyguard who claimed he helped Shakur escape to Cuba, wind up conveniently unavailable to testify. Law enforcement officially blames the Crips, citing confessions from Dwayne "Keefe" D. Davis, who claims Diddy put up $1 million bounty to settle old scores. But every time a new documentary lands, another angle emerges. Some say the Vegas chaos was no accident, it was a carefully staged cover-up. Others insist that the only real beneficiaries of Shakur's disappearance were the up-and-coming moguls who soon found themselves at the very top of the industry. Look at what happened after that infamous night. Jay-Z's star rises meteorically. Diddy's bad boy label explodes, riding the wave of Biggie's own high-profile end just months later. Both men are suddenly uncontested at the pinnacle of hip-hop, collecting dollars and launching global brands while their closest rivals vanish one by one. Meanwhile, rumors of the so-called Vegas Pact refused to fade away. Some claim there was an off-the-books meeting where certain executives agreed that Shakur was simply too dangerous to let live, or, depending on which corner of the web you're surfing, too valuable to let stay in the States. If we're to believe the street gossip, Jay-Z and Diddy weren't just passive bystanders, but active players, orchestrating moves far beyond what the public ever saw.
And that was to destroy East Coast rap. And what I mean by that, and I know people gonna be like, yo, Gene is out of his mind and everything like that. Check this out, brother.
The conspiracy theories just keep stacking. Why was the shooter never definitively identified? Why did the only man arrested for Shakur's passing, Keefe D, manage to stay silent for decades, only to start talking when most of the main players were conveniently gone? Every new detail, from odd autopsy discrepancies to Shakur's body allegedly being swapped for a double to sightings in Cuba and Belize, points to a cover-up deeper than anything in the official case file. It's into this fog of doubt that 50 Cent drops his wildest accusations yet. For years, he's mocked Jay-Z and Diddy for everything from business decisions to party habits. But now he's positioning himself as the whistleblower hip-hop never knew it needed. His Relentless campaign, blending memes with leaked legal docs, has thrown the biggest moguls on the planet into the line of fire. Even as Jay-Z's lawyers push back against lawsuits and Diddy's own world crumbles under criminal indictments, the power of suggestion, fueled by 50's trolling, makes the court of public opinion a scarier place than any actual courtroom.
There's different things that's not really beef though. That's just competitive energy.
Competitiveness. All right. So you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock with him like that.
With every deleted post, 50 Cent fans the flames. His AI video of Jay-Z and Diddy being arrested gets millions of views. His Netflix docuseries on Diddy's scandals promises even more revelations, and his not-so-subtle hints at what really happened in Vegas are driving a new wave of conspiracy theorists into overdrive. The mainstream media may not want to touch these claims, but 50 has always preferred the street to the boardroom. And as long as he keeps spinning these narratives, the legends surrounding Shakur, Jay-Z, and Diddy will only grow wilder. The underlying question is simple and terrifying. Were the last 3 decades of hip-hop shaped by the sheer talent of its moguls, or by deals struck in secret, behind locked hotel doors and armored escalades? Is Beyonce the only one left with the power to enforce real change? Or is she just fighting to keep the skeletons in the closet one more day? And if the rumors about Diddy's wildest crimes, Jay-Z's alleged complicity, and the fate of Shakur have even a grain of truth, how much more does 50 Cent know that he hasn't revealed yet?
Don't trust nobody. In Hollywood, specifically, when you get there, a lot of people don't know how to say no. That's the difference between New York City and California.
If what 50 Cent is saying has even a shred of truth, then the world of hip-hop might never look the same again. Are these moguls untouchable, or is the truth finally catching up with them? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. So what do you think? Could 50 Cent be the only one brave enough to drag the real story out of the shadows? Or is this just a masterclass in celebrity trolling? And drop your wildest theories in the comments, because we want to know what you believe. Until next time, keep your eyes wide open and your mind even wider, because in this world, nobody is off limits.